Saturday starts right now.
A golden moment that made history at Churchill Downs. Welcome to Sports Saturday. I'm Britt Albarba. We have extended coverage of Kentucky Derby 152. Kent Taylor and Preston Harvey have the post-race recap from the track. We look back on the life of Dwayne Lucas and hear from winning trainer and jockey at the podium. First, we're headed back to Churchill Downs for the stretch call.
For the top of the stretch, where Denon Bourbon has taken charge. Denon Bourbon's off the turn, and he's got a 3-length lead heading for the 8th pole. O'Selly and Commandment are closing in. Renegade rolling down the top of the track, and Golden Tempo from far behind. Denon Bourbon trying to fend off O'Selly. Renegade, and here's Golden Tempo. Golden Tempo from off the pace to win the Derby, and a career-defining, a racing-defining win for Cherie DeVoe.
From being an exercise rider at Churchill Downs 22 years ago to becoming the first female trainer in the winner's circle at the Kentucky Derby, Cherie DeVoe and Golden Tempo made history at the Run for the Roses. Kent Taylor and Preston Harvey were at the track for the moment it happened.
Cherie DeVoe makes history, the first female trainer to win the Kentucky Derby. She does it here in Kentucky Derby 152.
Yeah, and Golden Tempo entered this race as a long shot, even after running well at the Louisiana Derby and the Risen Star Stakes, finishing third in both of those races, but entered the Kentucky Derby with 23-1 odds and pulled off the upset.
We knew he'd be running down the stretch. As we take a look at the stretch, how about this? A Brothers Ortiz battle in the final strides. Irad Ortiz on Renegade, the favorite in the race, and Jose Ortiz on Golden Tempo. Jose wins his first Kentucky Derby and caps off a monster weekend. He also won Kentucky Oaks 152. He and Cherie DeVoe go down in the history books.
Folks, we got to keep going. First woman to win the Kentucky Derby?
Absolutely not. It hasn't even sunk in that I won the Derby, or we won the Derby.
Talking about some of the emotions coming down that final stretch.
I mean, this was a plan, and how he runs, and I watched Jose picking horses off one by one, and I really couldn't believe it. I'm just aghast.
Yeah, it's a history for her. I'm very happy for her. She gave me an amazing opportunity to ride her horses, and I'm very thankful for that, and hopefully we do it again.
For Irad Ortiz, it's his 10th Kentucky Derby, the first time he's finished in the money, but for the connections, Todd Pletcher, Mike Rapoli, I think there had to be a time where they thought they had the race won.
Definitely Renegade really down there on that home stretch. Looked like he was going to cross the finish line first, but another disappointment for owner Mike Rapoli. Now 0 for 9 in the first leg of the Triple Crown.
I usually am scratched or in 15th place, so yeah, that was the closest. But, you know, I didn't know I wanted or thought I wanted, but I was just I was happy to have a chance, man. You know, I've been in this race 11 times and just to have a chance at top of the stretch. And I mean, I kind of put my head down, but I wasn't really in tears. I was kind of grateful, and it was emotional, but, you know, it's just, my parents are here, 81 and 86, you know. My daughter's crying. The Lows that I'm partners with are in their 70s. And Irad's such a great jockey, man. I can't tell you anything more. He's such a competitor, so emotional. I think he's going to beat up his brother tonight. We might both do it, but that's all right. So nothing we can do about that.
And how about Whit Beckman in this one?
Yeah, the St. X grad trained O'Selly, who was also eligible, drew into the race, and then finished a closing third.
For half a second, you know, just kind of thundering down the lane there. He was passing horses. He was moving so well. We were just, you know, you kind of get lost in that moment where there's no thought, there's no anything. And, you know, then we saw the horses coming, and we knew, you know, reality is what it is. It's a tough horse race, but I couldn't be, like, any more happy with the overall performance, with how everything went the whole week, with my team, with everybody.
As usual, the Kentucky Derby delivers another thrilling finish and some history for Cherie DeVoe.
Everybody standing out of their seats on that home stretch, and the younger Ortiz now has bragging rights over his older brother.
Yeah, we'll see if maybe his brother can get a little measure of revenge. It'll take a year for him to get a Derby, but maybe in a couple weeks in Baltimore at the Preakness Stakes, which, by the way, will be run at Laurel Park, not at Pimlico this year, as it is under construction. For Preston Harvey at Churchill Downs on Kentucky Derby Day, I'm Kent Taylor, WLKY Sports.
Thanks, guys. You know what, though? It really was a weekend for the ladies. DeVoe making histories, but it was the Phillies that got things started under the lights on Friday night.
And here's always a runner up for the lead. Always a runner in the race for the Lilies. Under the lights. Wins the Oaks by a length in the end.
Always a runner lived up to her name on Friday night in prime time. Lightly raced, just her third lifetime start. Ends with the Lilies draped over Always a Runner. It's the first Kentucky Oaks win for trainer Chad Brown.
Incredible honor to win this race. A remarkable filly and homebred of the Three Chimneys farm right from Lexington, and who I've been associated with really for probably 20 years. And the Scarboroughs and the Torrealbas sent me this nice filly, me and my team, and my team did an unbelievable job, and the people at Three Chimneys, many team members were here today, which makes it extra special. I saw so many people from the farm that raised this horse. There's a lot of hard work that goes into raising a horse that comes out like this. So I'm so happy they got to experience this today. I wasn't sure she was going to win, but I loved every pole on the aerial shot. Every pole, wherever she was, Jose looked like he had so much horse under him, and she had her ears forward, and she was always traveling for him comfortably. It was just a matter of he was going to be able to extract her from where he was and get her out in the center of the track, and kudos to him. I mean, Jose's never ridden this horse before. We had a game plan. You know, these situations, big fields and big races, you got plan A, B, and C. We never had to get to B and C, because plan A was exactly how he rode that horse.
What a weekend for jockey Jose Ortiz, completing the Kentucky Oaks and Derby double. Crossed the wire first with Always a Runner on Friday night, and then did it again less than 24 hours later in Derby 152 on Golden Tempo. Ortiz becomes the 9th jockey to sweep the Oaks and Derby in the same year.
It feels great, unbelievable weekend, but you know, it's the result of all the hard work I put in for the last 15 years. I'm just very happy I get to win this race, and I'm very happy for Vinny, Teresa, Cherie, Daisy, Danny, all the team back in the barn. I mean, they work so hard with these horses, and it takes a lot of people to win a race like this, and you know, I just want to be thankful. I feel blessed to be here. I'm just very thankful to all of them.
Another successful Kentucky Derby, but someone was missing. After the break, we have more on the legacy of D. Wayne Lucas when we come back. The first Kentucky Derby without Hall of Fame trainer Wayne Lucas. Ken Taylor gives us a look back at the backside of Churchill Downs and the barn he left behind.
Barn 44 is still standing, but it's not the same on the backside of Churchill Downs. Wayne Lucas is missing.
I mean, you just look over there and, and you know all the great things he did, you know, just, I mean, I still just look over there when I come out. So, yeah, he's there forever and did a great job.
It's not the same without him, you know, and I mean, this is what he lived for.
And it was nice seeing him, you know, he was part of the Derby scene, you know.
Yesterday when I walked out on the track, I said this was the first time with no Wayne, because him and I would sit and talk about everything, you know. I was a big fan of Wayne, and I feel the same way. Him and I were friends. Some of a few things that he said to me over the years I'll never forget, because they were great compliments. And so, yeah, we miss him.
When you say horse racing and you use the terminology Wayne Lucas, you're comparing it in baseball to Babe Ruth, in the music world to Frank Sinatra. Nobody like Wayne Lucas. No one will come close.
Former Lucas assistant Mike Maker has taken over the barn, so the signs that were a staple of Derby week for many have been moved to the backside media center. One addition in 2026, the gap next to the barn that leads to the racetrack has been officially named the Lucas Gap.
Did it hit you when you saw that his name's not on that barn anymore, the Lucas Gap over there?
I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't even walked over there to look. Yeah, I haven't went over there. So it just wouldn't be the same.
Yeah, I really miss Wayne because we used to talk a lot about mainly quarter horses, you know, and like I just bought a new pony, and when I bought him, I wanted to call him up, and I called his wife up. You know, I just miss him.
He is, somebody I've known since I was a kid. My parents were, friends and colleagues with Wayne from the time I was born, and seeing him in the mornings on the racetrack on the pony, this winter at Oaklawn early, it just, him not being there.
It's every time. It's every time. Wayne Lucas was a coach, a leader, and a mentor, and everything in between to so many. On the racetrack, off the racetrack, in a community.
I mean, look, I spent a lot of time with him. I got him in my heart. He's a real good friend of mine, Wayne, and, I think about him a lot, and, especially around Derby time, everybody's probably really thinking about him, and, because he just loved it, Derby time, and he brought a lot of great things to the game.
Our Derby coverage continues. Up next, we're going inside the media center at the track to hear from DeVoe and Ortiz at the podium. After winning the first leg of the Triple Crown, trainer Cherie DeVoe and all the connections of Golden Tempo made their way to the podium. Here's what they had to say after capturing Derby 152.
You know, I watched Jose come up and get himself in position going into the final turn. And about the 3/16 pole, I thought, we're probably going to win this. And then I really kind of blacked out after that.
Well, tell us what you do remember. We saw on the NBC feed you going crazy with your entourage.
Yeah.
What were you saying? What was going through your mind?
I couldn't believe it. None of us really can believe it. There was a joke that I'm going to be a one and done, but now I think I'm going to have to do this again.
Jose, capping off an incredible weekend for you. Can you take us through the trip?
Yeah, I knew my horse was a deep closer, so I don't have any interest on being involved early. You can see the way I broke. I just want to go to the rail and save ground, you know. So I did that, and I was hoping for a big run late, and I was hoping for a fast pace, and I'm glad we had it.
Did you feel coming into the stretch like you still had a lot of horse? You had a chance to go inside, but you went around, so it looked like you knew you had horse.
I don't want to mess with the inside with 20 horse field. I've done it in the past. Not good. I felt like I had horse, so I was following Irad on Renegade. I felt like we were moving along very nice, so I felt like going outside of him wasn't gonna hurt me. I think he was the horse to beat, so I'm just very happy we won the race.
Cherie, Daisy said a few moments ago that she was quietly confident coming into the race after the works at Keeneland. Can you just talk about your mindset coming into the race with what on paper was a long shot, but it seemed like your group felt pretty good?
Well, we had a plan. Even right after the Lecomte when he won, we talked that, you know, he's a horse that's going to continue to develop and mature. And if we had enough the goal was not to win those races, the goal was to win this race. So each race was a building point to get here. And we had an idea, I had an idea, and our team, I'm so grateful to our team and to Jose, because Jose came out and worked him for us. You know, we had the plan going 6 weeks from the Louisiana Derby into the Kentucky Derby. And I had an idea of how we wanted to get there. And, you know, it's hard. You know, I can have all the ideas in the world, but if my staff and my team can't enact it, it's just not. So I'm just so grateful, and I'm so blessed for everyone on our team and to Jose.
Cherie, you know that a lot of the stories are going to lead with the fact that you are the first woman to train a Kentucky Derby winner. What's your reaction to that?
I'm just glad I don't have to answer that question anymore.
C.L. Brown with the Courier-Journal. This is for Cherie. Kind of a two-parter here. One, that when you first went on your own, 11 months it took to get that first win. During that stretch, could you ever have imagined, or is this what kind of kept you going, just the dream of having a win like this? And also wanted to see, what do you think Chuck Simon would tell you if he was here today?
I'm one of those thick-minded people that thinks that it's always going to work out. So, you know, it took a while, and again, I have to say an immense amount of gratitude to my husband, who's stuck behind me, and he just told me, just give it 3 years. Let's just give it 3 years and see if it works out, and I could always go and do something else. I didn't believe, I started my career here 22 years ago as a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed exercise rider. And I would not believe that I would be sitting up here today. Never in my life did I think I would. And Chuck, he'd be so proud. And I am here because of him, because he pushed me. He pushed my boundaries. He gave me direction when I needed it. And he was always proud of me, but I just think this definitely would have put him over the top. And I can't wait to drop one of these off at our old barn here. So can't wait to do that.
Tell us more about the progression over the past few months in New Orleans and how you got to this point today, having won the Kentucky Derby.
Training Golden Tempo has really been a treat. There's not a lot of times when a colt that is as big as he is as pleasurable as he is. I mean, he is just such a consummate professional. He's got a wonderful personality. So really, he allowed us to train him, and he responded to what we asked him to do throughout each process. He improved each race. We trained him a bit hard in between, and he showed up for us every time. He's done everything we've asked of him, and obviously winning the Kentucky Derby.
Such an awesome moment. Coming up, we take one more trip out to the track for our best for last. We'll be right back. How about something other than horse racing? We're moving on to the pitch. Louisville City FC returning to league play. The club coming off its loss to Houston in the U.S. Open Cup, hitting the road and taking on Detroit FC. Lou City made its way to Motor City. Stoppage time before the break. Jansen Wilson off the free kick and makes the most of it. His 6th goal of the season. We're tied at 1 at the half. 71st minute, Connor Rutz with the ups comes flying in for the header. Rutz moves into 3rd on DCFC's all-time goal scorers list. Detroit takes down Lou City 2-1.
From every player, we need more. We weren't good defensively. We weren't good with the ball. We didn't create enough chances. On a away game like this, you have to fight and figure things out. And tonight, we didn't do enough of that. We didn't do the things that we went through talking about going into this match of moving them and then getting service. We didn't do enough of that. We talked about winning the boxes. We didn't win the boxes. And overall, just not good enough from everyone.
The Bats also on the road at Omaha. Bottom 5, Nove Marte absolutely smashed his 3rd homer of the season. Bats take a 3-1 lead. It wouldn't last long. In the 5th, Abraham Toro torches this ball. A 2-run shot. Bats fall 8-4. Game 12 of their long road trip is coming up tomorrow at 3:05. All right, before we go, it's our best for last. And we got to go back to Churchill Downs and trainer Cherie DeVoe becoming the first female trainer to win the Kentucky Derby. From being a Gallup girl under the Twin Spires to making her way to the winner's circle, making history and inspiring so many young girls along the way. I was out on the backside at her barn this week, and there's a little girl who looked up to her, took time to take pictures, and showed her around. I can only imagine what she's thinking now, watching Cherie DeVoe win Kentucky Derby